What's dude, Savage Motoring, and I want to do a little video on this turbo up pipe that I just finished fabbing up for the Stranger, the Drift Ranger build. In the last video you saw, I mocked up the intercooler and I was doing some other just random stuff to it. Since then I cut the grill out on it, which kind of fits like almost perfect in there, the intercooler does. And I also put some brackets here, welded them straight to the radiator support, and those brackets hold the intercooler up. But today, this is what I was working on. I made my whole turbo up pipe. I made it completely out of an OEM Hyundai Genesis exhaust. This came off the V6, the 3.8. We did an exhaust on my buddy's Genesis a few years ago, and the stock exhaust was just sitting in my backyard. So I figured, hey man, I'll end up using it. And surprisingly, just the stock exhaust alone had all like the cool little bends and stuff that I needed. So I had to do some like weird cuts to get like the right angles and everything, and it looks like shit because, you know, it's a crappy flux core welder and I'm a shitty welder. You know, whatever. If it fucking works, it works. I cut the T3 flange right there off of this old Honda manifold. This is like an eBay like ram horn for a D-series Honda. I don't have anything D-series Honda anymore, and those manifolds are kind of junk anyway. So I cut the T3 flange off, and there was like a weird part on the Genesis exhaust that kind of came to like a squarish shape. So I put it on there and it was almost a perfect fit. I had to massage it out a little bit with the hammer. But overall, I mean, it fit pretty good. I've been working on it all day. But, I mean, you can see it looks pretty good. I mean, minus my shitty welds and stuff, because I'm an asshole and don't know how to weld. But I did put another flange here on it. This is also off the Genesis. I wanted to make it as long as possible, but still being able to take at least this part out. I was kind of worried if I built it all in, you know, as one piece, I wouldn't be able to get like welds all the way around the pipe in certain places. So I wanted to make it as long as possible. That way I could weld all the way around it, 360, you know, degrees all the way around it. And this puts, after this is like, you know, put in the truck, the turbo's gonna sit right about here. I know it's kind of dark, but this is the driver's side right here. Turbo's gonna sit right here in this huge open area. It basically follows the lines of the driver's side exhaust manifold, and I'll be doing a second video on how I'm running the piping and everything. But you know, the first part's done, so this actually spits out down by, I guess, the collector, I guess you would call it, where the stock manifolds on this thing come into one, and then they come down and, you know, make this kind of, I don't know, shape. Whatever, it's kind of hard to explain. Just bear with me. I'm gonna be doing more videos on this. Right now this puts it perfect into a spot where I can get to, and I have this other piece off of the Genesis exhaust as well, and basically just gonna bolt it on like that. I'm gonna probably end up cutting it and remounting the, you know, the pipe at a different angle, but for the most part, I mean, it's getting there. So stay tuned, and we're gonna do some more turbo stuff.